The American medium tank M4A3E8 Sherman, also known as the Easy 8, with the 76mm long-barreled gun. This is the very same Sherman with the long gun from the movie Fury, the tank on which Brad Pitt's crew fought their last battle. In reality, it was a production version of the Sherman with the new HVSS suspension. That stands for Horizontal Volute Spring Suspension, and wide tracks, which gave it the nickname Easy 8. The letter E in its designation means experimental, and the number 8 is the project number. It was fitted with a new gun that allowed the Americans to fight German Tigers and Panthers more effectively, and the Soviet T-34-85. The Victory Tank. It was on this tank that the Red Army stormed Berlin in April and May of 1945. Today we will compare them without Hollywood special effects. Only facts: armor, gun, speed, reliability, real combat experience. Let's begin. The M4A3E8 Sherman weighs from 32.5 to 33.5 tons, depending on the modification. The T-34-85 weighs 32 tons, almost the same. Front armor. The Sherman has 51mm at an angle of 56 degrees. The T-34-85 has 45mm at an angle of 60 degrees. The effective thickness is about 90mm for both. In terms of frontal protection, they are roughly equal. Side armor. The American has 38mm vertical. The Soviet tank has 45mm with the upper part sloped. The T-34-85 is better protected from the side. Accurate 3D models of these tanks with precise armor geometry are available in the game War Thunder. You can shoot at them yourself and check the penetration. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. Let's continue. Now the guns. The Sherman with the long gun has the M1A2 gun of 76mm caliber, barrel length 52 calibers. That gun made the Sherman dangerous to Tigers. The T-34-85 has the ZISS-53 gun of 85mm caliber, barrel length 54.6 calibers. Armor penetration at a real combat distance of 500 meters. According to different evaluation methods, the armor-piercing shells of both guns can penetrate from 100 to 110 millimeters of armor. In actual combat conditions, their penetration is considered comparable. There are two key differences. First, the high explosive shell. The Sherman's high explosive shell contains about 3.2 kilograms of explosives. The T-34-85's contains about 5.2 kilograms. Significantly more powerful. Against infantry, bunkers, and field fortifications, the Soviet tank is more effective. Second, rate of fire. The Sherman's practical rate of fire is 12 to 15 rounds per minute, and up to 20 under ideal conditions. The T-34-85, due to its separate loading ammunition, fires slower, 6 to 10 rounds per minute. The bottom line, the American has a higher rate of fire. The Soviet has a more powerful high explosive shell. Maximum road speed. The Sherman does about 42 kilometers per hour. The T-34-85 does up to 55 kilometers per hour. The Soviet tank is faster. Cruising range on one fuel fill. The Sherman on road covers from 160 to 175 kilometers. The T-34-85 covers from 250 to 360 kilometers depending on conditions. In cruising range, the Soviet tank outperforms the American by nearly twice. Fuel consumption per 100 kilometers. The Sherman consumes from 400 to 800 liters of gasoline, depending on conditions. The T-34-85 consumes from 140 to 350 liters of diesel. Power to weight ratio. The Sherman has about 15 horsepower per ton. The T-34-85 has about 15.5 horsepower per ton. The difference is minimal. Reliability. The Sherman's engine, the Ford GAA, producing 450 to 500 horsepower, is considered very reliable. The T-34-85's engine, the V234 diesel, also has a reputation for being durable and well suited to field conditions. Field repair. The T-34-85, due to its clever layout, is often easier and cheaper to repair. The Sherman, because of its more complex transmission and hydraulics, requires a higher level of skill. Ergonomics. The Sherman is noticeably more spacious, comfortable seats, power steering, effective ventilation. The crew can fight for many hours with less fatigue. The T-34-85 remains tighter, with a rough suspension and powder fumes after several shots. Now, visibility. The Sherman has a commander's cupola with several vision devices providing all-around view. The T-34-85 of the 1944 model also has a commander's cupola, which provides a panoramic view. However, the number and placement of vision devices on the American tank is greater, so in overall visibility, the Sherman has an advantage. If you want more than just theory, and you want to operate this equipment in combat yourself, check out the game Enlisted. It is a tactical shooter where the Sherman and the T-34-85 fight alongside infantry. The Normandy Campaign, American Shermans against German Panthers. The Berlin Campaign, Soviet T-34-85s storm the city center. Enlisted is free, link in the description and in the pinned comment. Let's continue. Numbers decide. The M4A3E8 Sherman with HVSS suspension was produced in about 2,617 units. In total, all Shermans with the long gun, with different suspension types, numbered about 15,000. The T-34-85 was produced in nearly 22,000 units. The Soviet tank was more numerous. U.S. strategy, a reliable, comfortable, technologically advanced tank for trained crews. USSR strategy, a maximally mass-produced vehicle adapted to harsh conditions and resource shortages. In a one-on-one duel, their chances are roughly equal. Both can knock each other out from several hundred meters. Much depends on the crew and who spots the enemy first. But war is not a duel. For the Western Front, with good roads and developed logistics, the Sherman was very suitable. For the Eastern Front, with its vast distances, mud, and remote bases, the T-34-85 was ideal. The Sherman with the long gun was the best for its war. The T-34-85 was the best for its war. Together, they won. For history and modeling enthusiasts, AliExpress has accurate assembly models of both tanks. Scale 1/35 or 1/48. Detailed down to tactical markings and weld seams. Build the Sherman and the T-34-85 yourself. Put them on a shelf. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. If you like honest, myth-free analysis of military technology, support the channel. The support link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. Thank you for watching to the end. See you next time.